I welcome back you all to this mathematics class, and we are dealing with chapter 4 determinants of class 12 mathematics. We have already started miscellaneous exercise on chapter 4 and we have done a few questions, and today we are going to do the rest of the questions of miscellaneous exercise on chapter 4 determinants. So let us start. So question 1 of miscellaneous exercise on chapter 4 determinant says that prove that the determinant x sin theta cos theta minus sin theta x1 cos theta 1x is independent of the variable theta. So let us proceed. There is no need to use the properties. Even if you want, you can apply one or two properties, or else we can simply start and expand this along the first row. So I am expanding it along first row. That means I write multiply x, that is the first element, with its cofactors. So, and what are the cofactors? Minus x square minus 1. Then second element of first row is sin theta. So, I change its sign. Sin theta becomes minus sin theta, and I multiply it by its cofactors. I have already changed its sign. So, minus sin theta into x, it becomes minus x sin theta, and then minus cos theta into 1. So, it becomes minus cos theta plus cos theta into cofactor of cos theta. So, we neglect the row and the column in which cos theta lies. Minus sin theta into 1 is minus sin theta, minus x into cos theta becomes plus x cos theta. So, now we simplify this further. So, you can see that I multiplied x with this bracket minus sin theta with this bracket. So, minus x cube minus 1 into x minus sin theta into minus x sin theta becomes plus x sin square theta minus cos theta into minus sin theta becomes plus sin theta cos theta, and minus cos theta sin theta, and then plus x cos square theta. Now, I can see that sin theta cos theta gets cancelled with minus sin theta cos theta, and I am going to club these two terms. So, I get minus x cube minus x plus, from these two terms I can take x common, and I get sin square theta plus cos square theta, and as you know that sin square theta plus cos square theta, this is an identity and this is equal to 1. So, we are left with minus x cube minus x plus x. So, now you can see, students, that this value of the given determinant is independent of theta and hence proved. Question number 3, you have to evaluate the determinant cos alpha cos beta, cos alpha sin beta minus sin alpha. This is the first row, first element, second element, third element, and so on. Minus sin beta cos beta 0, sin alpha cos beta, sin alpha sin beta, and cos alpha. So, we have to, I think, use some properties, then only it can be simplified. Otherwise, you may see that the calculations become quite difficult, or if you want, you can directly evaluate it also, because it has not been asked in the question to use any property. Still, to make it simpler, I can use this property that if I apply in C1 this property, that C1 can be changed to C1 minus cos beta sin beta times C2. Why I am applying this? Let me explain you. From this number, if I subtract this number by multiplying this number by cos beta upon sin beta. So, if I multiply this by cos beta upon sin beta will cancel, and cos alpha cos beta can be cancelled with cos alpha cos beta. So, I will get this first element 0. Also, I will get the first element of the first column will be 0, third element will also become 0 straight away by applying this operation. So, let us apply this operation in the first column. So, let me show you elaborately. So, that means कि I have to write every element of column 1 as that element, that means cos alpha cos beta minus C1 means element of C1 minus cos beta upon sine beta times element of C2, and element of C2 is cos alpha sine beta. So I write here cos alpha sine beta. So this whole is the element of first column, first element of first column. So second element I can see this becomes minus sine beta minus, so in place of C1 I write the element of C1 minus cos beta upon sine beta into element of corresponding element of C2, which is cos beta, and third element of C1, that is sine alpha cos beta minus cos beta upon sine beta times this element of C2, that is sine alpha sine beta. So I will solve them in the next step, and I copy down the second and the third column. So when I copy down the second column, I get cos alpha sine beta cos beta sine alpha sine beta. I have copied the second column since I have not made any change in second column. You can see second column as it is I have copied down. I will also copy down the third column since I am not making any change in third column. So third column is minus sine alpha 0 cos alpha, and I close the determinant. So let me further calculate that what happens to the first column. Very clearly you can see, student, this sine beta and sine beta, they will get cancelled, and cos beta cos alpha cos beta minus cos beta cos alpha becomes 0. Here I will take the LCM, so I get minus sine beta into sine beta, that is minus sine square beta, minus cos beta into cos beta, that is minus cos square beta upon sine beta. And I can see that the third element sine beta gets cancelled with sine beta, sine alpha cos beta minus sine alpha cos beta. So this element also comes out to be 0. Now I copy down the elements of column 2 and column 3. So I get this determinant. Now I can further solve this element and see what I get. So I know that the first element of first column is 0. From these two elements, from these two terms I can take negative common. So I will have minus common, and then sine square beta plus cos square beta. So that will be minus 1 divided by sine beta, and the third element is 0. And now I copy down second column and third column. So you can see that I have got this determinant, solving the first column, copying down the second column and third columns. Now as you can see that the two elements of first column are 0. So now I can expand this determinant by using the first column. So expanding this determinant along first column. So you can see that I am expanding it along first column. So only non-zero element in first column is minus 1 upon sine beta. Since this element lies at the odd position, so I change its sign. So minus 1 upon sine beta becomes negative of minus 1 upon sine beta multiplied by its cofactor. Since this negative is with cofactor, so I neglect the column and the row in which it lies. So I get cos alpha into sine beta into cos alpha. Let me write the step again. So we get cos alpha sine beta into cos alpha, that is cos square alpha into sine beta minus sine alpha into sine alpha sine beta, that becomes it plus sine square alpha into sine beta. So now I can take sine beta common from both the terms. So this becomes 1 upon sine beta into sine beta, and we are left with cos square alpha into plus sine square alpha. So I get sine beta gets cancelled and this identity is 1, which is the desired result. Now let us concentrate on question number 14, which says that you prove that this given determinant is equal to 1. First row 1, 1 plus p, 1 plus p plus q. Here p and q are constants, and the second row 2, 3 plus 2p, 4 plus 3p plus 2q, and the third row is 3, 6 plus 3p and 10 plus 6p plus 3q, and we have to prove that this is equal to 1. So now students, please think that which operation or property of determinant we should apply here. So whenever we see, we always concentrate most of the times on the first column whenever it is a simpler part. So I should try to make one or two elements of any row or a column 0. I very well know that if I apply the operation that R2 goes to R2 minus 2R1, so that in that case this element will become 0, and side by side I also apply the operation that R3 goes to R3 minus 3R1, then I know this element 3 will also become 0, and likewise two elements of the first column will become 0, and then we shall expand along first column. This is how we have done in past. So now let us apply these two operations. So I get, since I am applying the operations on R2 and R3, so R1 can be written without any change. So this operation means from every element of R2 you subtract 2 times the corresponding element of R1. So 2 minus 2 times of 1 is 0. This element minus 2 times of this element. So 3 minus 2 will be 1. 2p minus 2p will be 0. So this element will be 1. Next, this element minus 2 times of this element. So 4 minus 2 will be 2. 3p minus 2p will be p, and 2q minus 2q will be 0. So likewise I have to apply this operation R3 goes to R3 minus 3R1 also on row 3. So 3 minus 3 times of 1 is 0. 6 minus 3p minus 3 times of this number. 6 minus 3 will be 3. 3p minus 3p will be 0. 10 minus 3 will be 7, and then we have, so we got this determinant. Now expanding this determinant along first column. So we know that the first two, second and third element of first column are 0. So we get 1 into, neglecting the column and the row in which one lies, 1 into 7 plus 3p minus 3 into 2 plus p. We solve further and we get 7 plus 3p minus 6 minus 3p. So we can see 3p gets cancelled and 7 minus 6 is 1, and it was nothing but the required value of RHS. Now let us move to question number 15 of miscellaneous exercise. First row, sin alpha, cos alpha plus delta, sin beta. Second row, so you have to prove this determinant is equal to 0. Now you please try to think that how can you get this type of term, cos alpha plus delta, cos beta plus delta, cos gamma plus delta. How can you get this term either here or here, because you can see that you have to get the right hand side to be 0. So it is very clear that cos alpha plus delta has got expansion. Let me write here its expansion. Cos alpha plus delta will be equal to cos alpha cos delta minus sin alpha sin delta. So you can see cos alpha, if I multiply second column by cos delta, so C2 into cos delta, and from that I subtract sin alpha sin delta, means first column times sin delta. So if I do this operation, that I make a change in column 2, what change am I making? That I am multiplying column 2 by cos delta. So it becomes cos alpha cos delta, and then I am subtracting from it sin delta times C1, that is sin alpha sin delta. Cos alpha cos delta minus sin alpha sin delta, that will become cos alpha plus delta, that is same as this. And likewise I will be getting the same thing which is here in place of cos beta. This I will get in place of cos gamma. Let us see how. So let us apply this operation in the second column. So cos delta into cos alpha cos delta minus C1. In place of C1 I write sin alpha. So minus sin alpha into sin delta. Similarly I write the second element. For second element of column 2, which is cos beta into cos delta minus C1, means second element of column 1, which is sin beta into sin delta. Likewise I apply the same operation here in corresponding elements of C2 and C1. So I will get here cos gamma into cos delta. C2, in place of C2 I write cos gamma cos delta minus, in place of C1 I will write sin gamma and sin delta. So you can see this is the first element of second column, second element of second column, third element of second column. Now third element, third column I am going to copy because there is no change in third column. So the given determinant changes to this determinant. Now you please see the first term of second column, cos alpha cos delta, this is delta, minus sin alpha sin delta. So this number is cos alpha plus delta. Then cos alpha cos beta cos delta cos beta minus sin delta sin beta. So this is the formula of cos beta plus delta. And similarly cos gamma cos delta minus sin gamma sin delta. So this is the expansion of sin gamma plus delta. So replacing these three numbers by their formulas. So I get this determinant by replacing these three expansions with their formulas. Now you concentrate on this determinant. You can see that column 2 and column 3 are identical. So we have a property of the determinants that if any two rows or any two columns of a determinant are identical or proportional, then the value of the determinant comes out to be 0. So using that property, this determinant becomes 0, which is equal to right hand side. Question 16 of miscellaneous exercise. 2 by x plus 3 by y plus 10 by z equal to 4, first equation. And then you can see these are three equations in three variables x, y and z. So you have to solve these equations using the matrix method. So what I can do is that I can replace first of all 1 by x by u, 1 by y by v and 1 by z by w, and I rewrite these equations with u, v and w. So I get these three equations. This is the system of equations and I have to solve it using the matrix method. So writing this system of equations in matrix form, so we get one coefficient matrix 2, 3, 10, coefficients of u, v, w in first equation 4, minus 6, 5, coefficients of u, v, w in second equation, and 6, 9, minus 20, coefficients of u, v, w in third equations, and then we have u, V, W, these are the variables. You can check that if I multiply these two matrices, I am going to get left hand side of these equations, and then I have one matrix formed by using the constants. So you can check it that if you multiply this matrix by UVW, you will get 2U plus 3V plus 10W equal to 4. So you will get these equations again. So I can name this matrix, coefficient matrix, as A, and I can name this variable matrix as X, and I can name this constant matrix as B. So now my aim here is to find the value of the variable matrix X. So I have to use the matrix equation. So we very well know that the solution of this matrix equation is A inverse B. How we get A inverse B? We pre-multiply this matrix equation by A inverse. So what will I get? I will get A inverse into AX equal to A inverse into B. So A inverse into A will become I into X will become X. X is equal to A inverse B. So your aim is to find the value of A inverse, means inverse of this matrix. And you very well know that all matrices are not invertible. How will you check that this given matrix can be inverted, its inverse exists or does not exist? So you have a method for checking that, how you find the determinant of this matrix. And you know, if the determinant is non-zero, then this matrix is non-singular and hence invertible, and in that case it will have a unique solution. So let us find its determinant. I am expanding it along first row. So I will get 2 into 20 into 6, 120, minus 9 into 5, 45, minus 3 into, neglecting the column and the row, 20 into, minus 20 into 4 is minus 80, minus 6 into 5 is 30, and then plus 10 into, neglecting the row and the column, 9 into 4, 36, plus 36. So we shall be solving this, and we get this number is 75, 2 into 75. This number is minus 110, so 3 into 110. This number is 72 into 10, 720. So 150 plus 330 plus 720, we get the value of the determinant of the matrix A is 1200, and which is a non-zero number. This implies that the given matrix is invertible with a unique solution. So let us find its solution. For that, now I have to find A inverse, and we all know that A inverse is equal to adjoint of A divided by determinant of A. And what else we know? We also know that adjoint of A is nothing but transpose of cofactor A. So our aim is to find cofactor matrix. We take its transpose and divide it by the determinant of the matrix. Let us find cofactor of all the elements of this matrix. So cofactor of first element A11. So neglecting the row and the column and multiplying the minor by 1 minus 1 raised to the power 1 plus 1, and the minor will be, neglecting the row and the column, 20 into 6 is 120 minus 45, and that comes out to be 75. Then we find the minor of the second element, so minus 1 raised to the power 1 plus 2 into, neglecting the row and the column, finding the minor, 20 minus 20 into 4 is minus 80, minus 6 into 5 is 30, and that comes out to be minus 110. This is minus 110, and then with the negative sign, so this is plus 110, and then the cofactor of the third element, that is 10, that is minus 1 raised to the power 1 plus 3 into minor, neglecting the row and the column, 9 into 4, 36, minus 36, so this becomes plus 36, so 72, minus 1 raised to the power 1 plus 3 is 4. And likewise we find the cofactors of all the elements. So using the method that I have described you earlier to find the minors and cofactors, I have found, you can see, the cofactors of all the elements. How to find the minors and cofactors? If you are not clear about this, then students, you can refer to my previous videos on minors and cofactors, and you will find the link in the description box. So I have found all the minors of all the elements. So A11 means minor of this, A12 minor of this, A13 minor of this, and then A21 is cofactor, not minus. I'm sorry, these were the cofactors. A11 cofactor of this, A12 cofactor of this. Now we write the cofactor matrix of A. So what do you mean the cofactor matrix of A? Cofactor matrix of A means we replace every element of the matrix A by its cofactor, and we have already found its cofactors. And you can see here that we have got the values of all cofactors here. So we see all the values and write here in this matrix. So I got this as the cofactor A. We call it cofactor A. Now we have to find adjoint of matrix A. How do we find adjoint A? Adjoint matrix A is nothing but transpose of cofactor matrix. So now you can see this is the cofactor matrix. I take its transpose, means I read a row and write it in terms of a column. So now I have taken the transpose of cofactor matrix. So I got adjoint of A. So this matrix represents the adjoint matrix of A. Now A inverse is adjoint of A upon determinant of A. So we are divided outside the matrix, adjoint matrix I am going to write here, and I am dividing the adjoint matrix by determinant of A. Determinant of A was 1200. So I divide, that means 1 upon 1200 of adjoint A matrix. So I got the value of A inverse. Now my aim was to find the value of X, and I knew that X was A inverse B. So I have got the value of A inverse and I have got the value of constant matrix B. Substituting both the values I get, so I get A inverse into B. So now in the next step I am going to multiply all these numbers, but here very important point to note is that students sometimes they make a mistake that they first multiply 1 by 1200 inside this matrix and then they multiply it with the matrix B, and if they do so, in that case the calculations become very complicated. So I will not touch this 1200, I will let it remain where it is. I will first multiply these two matrices. 75 into 4, which is 300, plus 150 into 1 plus 75 into 2. Similarly here 4 into 110, 440 minus 100 into 1 plus 30 into 2, and next is, and similarly, so I get this matrix after multiplying these two matrices. Solving these numbers, this is whole one term. This matrix actually it has got only one column, it has got 3 rows. This is a 3 by 1 matrix. So you can see here this is a 3 by 3 matrix and this is a 3 by 1 matrix. So the resultant matrix will be 3 by 1, having 3 rows and just 1 column. So solving these elements further, we get 300 plus 300 is 600. Solving this, we have got this. Now we divide every element of this matrix by 1200. So I get 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 5. You can see that 600 upon 1200 is 1 by 2, 400 upon 1200 is 1 by 3 and 240 upon 1200 is 1 by 5. And this is nothing but, this is the matrix X, and matrix X was giving you the values of U, V, W. So this implies you have got U, which was nothing but 1 by X, as 1 by 2, V, which was 1 by Y, has become now 1 by 3, and W, which was 1 by Z, has now become 1 by 5. So now you can compare the values with X, Y and Z, and you will get X to be 2, Y to be 3, and z to be 5. So you got the unique solution of the given system of equations. So students, we end up this today's class here, and the rest of the questions I will be discussing in my next class. Revise all the concepts, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this channel.